welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, in your own vibe, in your own perspective, because that is what is being asked of us at such a time as this. Now, it's like I've been getting a lot of questions and comments about, the video I released last week about France removing their entire military from Africa. Many people had different perspectives to give, but why did they really? Why has France really left Africa in terms of their military? Is it because they have bigger fish to fry at home? There's like 130 towns across France that are demonstrating against the passport, etc., the new green pass or health pass or whatever they want to call it. It's like the Jeune Vest, which was like the yellow vest movement that was massive, that was going to bring Macron down, has now moved into, this anti-lockdown, anti-green pass kind of movement, and it's gaining momentum. And it looks like it's going to be pretty hard for Macron to stay in place. But a lot of people were suggesting that could be the reason why we've seen them withdrawing their military, because they need them back home to police their own people. And I will be getting into that in a little bit, because we have to look at the fact that armies have been, just like police, armies have been copy-pasted across the world. Every freaking country has an army. Who are they going to fight, And every army has either been trained by one colonialist or another. If they're not trained by the British, they're trained by the Americans. If they're not trained by the Americans, they're trained by the French. If it's not the French, then it's the Russians, etc., etc. And it's all this copy-paste similar system, with the uniforms and everything and the tanks and the bombs. But why did they go to such lengths to do this? Beloveds, I really believe that something is coming with the armies, and I'm going to do a separate show on this. Actually, I'm not going to get it. I was just about to you see how I even got leaned in. No, I really believe they will be the global force of the New World Order, but I'll definitely share my thoughts on that in a future episode. But France, there's a lot of upheaval at home. A revolution is definitely coming to France. They're saying bigger than the revolution that happened in their history. I'm not really familiar with French history. But bigger than any revolution they've seen. So is that the reason? The second reason that many of you suggested is that there's a lot of evidence, beloveds, that suggests that the same people who came into Africa to try and stop the Boko Harams of this world and the Islamic, whatever they call them, jihadists or whatever, are actually the same people who supplied them with the necessary training, with the necessary equipment to carry out many of their missions. So could France actually have already set themselves up? They've got their people on the ground, they've trained whoever, and so now they're waiting for some massive, they're now actually just pulling the strings from back in the day. Many saying, from back in France, many saying they already have their drones there, they already have their spies in embassies, etc., etc. Some of you did agree with me that it's because something bigger is coming. I think it's very important for us to open up our eyes. But beloveds, there's something deeper that's coming, because that's happening with just the global army. Because you see now the United Nations peacekeeping force, which basically used to recruit, members from different armies across the world, they want to now expand their force. And so many are saying that a lot of these foreign armies are actually collapsing themselves or withdrawing from the situations so that they can now join this United Nations force, which would literally become the New World Order global army. Is this what's happening? Because we know that these people operate on order out of chaos. And right now we can see that so much chaos is being instigated. Now, because of all the lies of fake stream media, it's hard to tell who is behind what event. Some of it is nature, beloveds. Some of it is our ancestors returned. They're trying to take credit for everything. Anything you see nature doing is our ancestors returned. Anything you see man doing, beloveds, is almost choreographed. Even if the people are reacting and rebelling and revolutionizing on their own accord, it's like playbook what they've been pushed to do in order for Babylon to roll out their end game. So they need chaos so they can come up with the order. It's like they need a pandemic so they can come with a solution and involve everyone in the grand experiment. And so everything right now, like, is gonna get even more chaotic, beloveds. And so France may have left because these powers that be are planning to create some kind of global force. And also because, France knows, beloveds, the judgment day is here. And they're hoping to pass the buck and pass the blame to someone else. But we return to sender. Any plan, any wicked plan, any nefarious plan, whatever they may have left to fester, may not work, whatever they carried with them, may it work against them, beloveds. It's our season. It's our season, beloveds. And so we shouldn't move in fear. And that's what I see. The reason I even covered this again is because I see that a lot in the comments. Like, a lot of our people have a very defeatist mentality where, when you talk about France withdrawing their army, the first thing they're thinking, I know we're dealing with wicked people, by the way, beloveds, but the first thing you're thinking is bigging up France. Oh, they're going to do this. Oh, they're going to do that. Oh, they're planning this massive event. They're going to continue to destabilize us. They don't have that power anymore, beloveds. They've left because, sugar's about to hit the fan in their own country. And they're also trying to create this global force. The nature of the game has changed. And they actually did announce, and this is my last point, when they were leaving West Africa, the Sahel Desert, where they had been for 8 years, they did actually announce that the reason they were doing it is because they were now preparing for something that would be more global and more intense in nature. The powers that be are preparing for something. Are you? And remember, even if you have nothing physically, there's so much you can be doing spiritually and mentally that will change the game for you physically. Tuko pamoja.